So ladies and gentlemen, here I am again to introduce another esteemed personality of Utah, Dr. Ashok Joshi. Dr. Joshi received his PhD from Northwestern University. He later solely purchased a high-tech company named Ceramatech for a large multinational company. Dr. Joshi founded 6 other companies and he sold 3 companies and still runs 3 other companies with active interest. Dr. Joshi received India's Best Small Entrepreneurial Award by the President of India and was recipient of many other awards from the state of Maharashtra. He received the Utah Governor's Medal for Science and Technology and a Lifetime Achievement Award from Industrial Research Institute in Washington. Dr. Joshi also received Asian of the Year Award from the Utah Asian Chamber of Commerce and was recently awarded Utah Genius. He is currently serving as the Board of Trustees for Salt Lake Community College and India Cultural Center. He is founder and board member of several corporations like Microlin Technologies, Apylon Medical Corporation, Active Co Corporation, and Calypto Medical Inclusions, to name a few. He helped build 3 schools with 1,800 children in it in the Indian villages. He helped build a center for learning life skills for said children in Mumbai's slum area. He donated for scholarships for students of the Salt Lake Community College. He also collaborated with the Westminster College for his Room to Read project to be implemented in the Indian rural villages. Dr. Joshi is a well-recognized innovator and high-technology entrepreneur for the past 35 years. Dr. Joshi has developed several technologies in energy, environmental and biotechnological fields. He is an inventor of more than 100 issued US patents and has over 40 patents pending. So ladies and gentlemen, please give a big round of applause for Dr. Ashok Joshi. And today he is here with us with the Westminster College professor, Dr. Carolyn Jenkins, and 2 other students of them. So I would like to call upon Kalyan Ladhwane and Shravan to felicitate Dr. Joshi and Dr. Carolyn Jenkins.
Thank you, Pranav. I didn't know he was going to read my resume which I sent him. This is the first time I sent my resume. I wasn't looking for a job or something. But anyway, hey, just like Dr. Patel told you about his work in India, I thought that I would tell you about our work in India too. And this is in my village called Vai in Maharashtra. About 15 years ago I started this, and then about 7 years ago, Kalpana, Dinesh and Governor of Utah, we went to Vai, and after that I collaborated with Westminster College. Today, Professor Carolyn Jenkins is here. She spent 3 months in Hawaii. But before wasting time, I'd like to ask Carolyn to say about our work.
Thank you. Thank you. I had the great honor of being involved with the Westminster in India project for the last 2 years. However, students and professors have been traveling to India for the last 5 years. We have built strong relationships with our partners in Hawaii and the surrounding area. Jamie Tanner, one of our students who is traveling to Hawaii this coming July, will describe some of the projects we, along with our Indian partners, have implemented. Joanna Abderholden and Vanessa Jordan, 2 more of the students who will travel this summer, will read a couple of stories from a book we have published called Why Stories. And Dr. Christy Jones has been heavily involved in that, and she is here tonight also. You will hear a story told to us by a family of students with disabilities, and another story told by a young student who lives in Y. Jamie?
All right, we have 3 projects that we're so excited about this coming August. And I'm going to give you a brief description of the organization that we'll be partnering with, what we've done in past years, and then what we're planning on doing this upcoming year. So the first one is the Rivka Sahil Akshar Institute, which is a school in Y, India, which provides care, education, and a vocational workshop for children and adults with developmental disabilities, as well as serving as the regional teacher training college for special education professionals. It is a grassroots initiative that began in 1986 and has since become a model for providing services, education, and training for families who have individuals with special needs and special education teachers throughout India. The Westminster in India project has partnered with the Akshar Institute. In the past, we have gathered stories from the families of the students who have disabilities. This year, we will be teaching science lessons to the students with disabilities who attend Akshar. The second is the PDGG Jodha Library. It is a member-supported library which sits at the edge of a slum area in Y and serves a wide variety of patrons. The library brings collections of English and Marathi children books to area elementaries in a bookmobile-like rotation program. Previously, Westminster students have, sorry about that. Previously, Westminster students have worked with the library staff to host a summer reading camp, to start the popular women's book discussion group, and collect stories from some of the younger library patrons. This year, we will offer a science camp for girls who live in the slum area. Finally, we have the TL Joshi High School. It's one of the 6 schools that Westminster partners with in Y and the surrounding area. In the past, Westminster students prepared lessons for English classes in this high school. The Westminster students taught these lessons to several different classes over 6 days using short books written in English. From the discussion of the books, the high school students practiced English vocabulary, comprehension, and made connections between the books and their own lives. This year, we will teach science lessons to the 7th and 8th graders in the 6 schools. And up next, we have Vanessa, who will be reading one of our stories written by one of the students previously.
Okay. So this is written by a student named Shifty from Y. He says, I was born in the rainy season on July 28th, 2002. I was the first child in my home, and everyone was happy, including my grandfather and grandmother. I had a great childhood and completed my education to the 4th standard in my village. But then my grandfather died and everything changed. I was too young to remember this, but my mother told me about that time in our lives. I've written a poem about it. A home should be a home. The home is not just made of walls. There should be love in the home, not just relationships. My family is very poor. There weren't many jobs in my village, and many people had to leave and find a job in another village. After my grandfather died, when I was in 5th standard, we had to move to my mother's village because of troubles my family was having in his village. My father didn't want to move to my mother's village, and my parents were quarreling a lot about it. Eventually, my mother and my sister and I left my father to go live in my mother's village. I had to forget my past in the village with my family and start a new life in the city with my mother. I wrote a poem about this. The family love ended, and what remains are just memories. I feel that I have to do something for my family, especially my mother. That's why I decided to get a good education. The most beautiful thing I could wish for is that my mother and father have happy lives. Thank you.
And this story is written by a mother who has a child with a disability, and it's written by Miss Archana. When a baby is born, it's born with having some similarities of its parents or its grandparents. The relatives come to see the baby and make different guesses. Are the baby's eyes like the mother's or like the father's? Is the nose like the grandmother's? The mother becomes happy with these praises and forgets her pains. With the tender touch of a new baby, the mother's experiences a different type of happiness. She always tries to stare at the face of the baby, and it happens everywhere. This experience was not new for me. Before Rutuja, I was a maternal aunt. And then I had a son whose name was Danbar, and my dream was fulfilled with becoming a mother. When I realized that I was becoming a mother for the second time, I wanted a daughter, and it happened. Rutuja was born on November 19, 2000. When I saw a beautiful, tender baby wrapped in the shawl in the nurse's hands, I forgot everything. When I came to know the baby was a girl, my happiness knew no bounds. I had already decided the name of the baby, Rutuja, of course. I always think of her future and feel nervous, but I feel that God must have plans for her future. We have decided to educate her per her choice and per her capabilities. We want her to be able to stand on her own 2 feet. I have some expectations from the society. When Rutuja was small, the people were behaving with love, but some people tried to frighten her and behave differently. Some children tried to tease her. I felt very sad and also felt that if they had somebody in their home with a disability, they would have not behaved like this. Everybody should think about it. They should mix with such children. They should also encourage their children to mix up with such children. Sometimes I think if it was in the hands of a person to take a birth according to his wish, Rutuja would have chosen to take the birth of a butterfly. She would have taken any care of anybody and would have wondered with joy in nature. And what is she now? A butterfly? Her body is a person, but her mind is of a butterfly. She plays tricks, sings songs, and she dances and plays. She's always happy and tries to keep others happy. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We are very happy to be here representing Westminster in India Project, and we would so much appreciate any way that you could contribute to this project. You can contact Dr. Joshi if you're interested in contributing. You can donate on the Westminster website. Make sure you specify that you want to donate to Westminster in India Project. You can also purchase this book for $20 if you're interested. This is the book. Yeah, this is the book that the stories came from that Vanessa and Joanna read. Thank you very much.